Saturday, 4:27 p.m. Jefferson Heights, Los Angeles. It was a hot summer day. The sun made the streets shine, and the sidewalks had tiny cracks from the heat. Jefferson Heights was a neighborhood where people tried to stay out of trouble. It wasn't super safe, but it wasn't too scary either. People mostly kept to themselves. At the Sunmart grocery store, things were normal. Families were shopping for food. College students grabbed drinks and snacks. Nothing strange was happening. Then the door opened, and in walked Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wore a gray hoodie, black jogging pants, and a baseball cap pulled low. He wasn't there to be famous. He just wanted a few things: some apples, protein bars, and bottled water. Nothing special. At 4:31 p.m., the store clerk saw him and recognized him but didn't say anything. Dwayne gave a small nod. People usually stared or asked for pictures. But today, no one bothered him. He liked that. He was halfway done at the checkout when he felt something, like a little tickle in his stomach. It was a feeling that told him trouble might be coming. He had felt it before many times. It had saved him. He looked behind him. 2 police officers had just walked into the store. One was young, neat, and just looked around. The other was older, about 45 years old. His name was Sergeant Clay Trent. He had a big, square face and looked very serious. His badge was a little crooked. He looked like someone who liked to be in charge and show off his power. 4:35 p.m. Outside the store. Dwayne walked out of the store. He held a brown paper bag with his groceries tucked under one arm. He wasn't looking for any trouble. But Sergeant Trent was looking at him. "Hey!" Trent shouted. "Did you pay for that?" Dwayne stopped walking. The younger officer beside Trent looked confused. He had seen Dwayne pay inside the store. "He paid," the young officer said. "I saw him at the register." But Trent didn't listen. "I didn't ask you," he said. "I asked him." Dwayne stayed calm. "Yes, I paid. I even have the receipt," he said, showing a small white slip of paper from the bag. But Trent didn't even look. Instead, he stepped close and, smack! He slapped Dwayne across the face. A loud slap. People in the parking lot gasped. The young officer looked shocked. He stepped back, eyes wide. Dwayne didn't move. He didn't blink. He just looked Trent right in the eyes. 4:36 p.m. Silence. 10 seconds passed. No one said anything. Then Trent smiled. "You think you're special, walking out like this store belongs to you?" Dwayne's jaw tightened. Then he spoke softly. "You have no idea what you just did." 4:37 p.m. People start watching. A woman across the street took out her phone and started recording. A man shouted, "Yo, you just hit him." Another person whispered, "That's The Rock." More people pulled out phones and started filming. But Trent didn't care. He stood tall and shouted, "Get on the ground. Hands where I can see them." Dwayne stayed calm. He didn't move. He still held his bag. "You don't want to do this," he said gently. Trent pulled out his gun. He didn't point it, but he held it ready. The younger officer whispered, "Sarge, that's Dwayne Johnson. We should stop." But Trent was angry. "He's just another thug unless I say he's not." 4:38 p.m. A warning. Dwayne slowly set his bag on the ground. Apples rolled out. The receipt fluttered in the wind. But no one looked at the fruit. Everyone watched Trent and Dwayne. "This is your last chance," Dwayne said quietly. "Walk away now." The crowd was growing. Everyone was recording. The phones were everywhere. But Trent didn't care. "You've got 3 seconds to lie down," he shouted. Then he grabbed Dwayne's wrist and tried to twist it. Big mistake. Dwayne didn't fight. He didn't punch. He just moved one step. One quick move. In a blink, Trent was on the ground, face first, with his wrist held down. The gun slid away. The crowd gasped. Phones caught everything. 4:41 p.m. Control changes. The younger officer used his radio. "Dispatch, this is Unit 24, he said. "We need a supervisor at Jefferson and 6th. Officer may have used force wrongly. Suspect is Dwayne Johnson." Scene is calm but serious. More people came. A man with a food cart said, "That cop hit the rock. He didn't do anything." A woman shouted from her car, "We got it on video." Then a chant started, "Let him go! Let him go!" Trent, still on the ground, shouted, "You're finished. I own this district." Dwayne let him up. He didn't punch him. He stayed calm. "No," Dwayne said. "You don't own anything anymore." 4:47 p.m. A phone call. Dwayne picked up his phone. He called someone. "It happened just like we feared," he said. "No, he didn't check my ID." Then he said 3 words, "Make the call," and hung up. 4:52 p.m. Help arrives. 3 black SUVs pulled up. Out came Chief Cameron Elena. He was from Internal Affairs. That means he checks if police officers do bad things. He didn't talk to Trent. He walked right up to Dwayne. "I heard," he said. "We've been watching Trent for months. This just made it public." Dwayne gave him a phone with video on it. "You'll want this," he said. Chief Elena nodded. "Come with me. The department needs to see what happens when a good man gets pushed too far." 5:03 p.m. The video goes online. The first video was posted online at 5:02 p.m. By 5:10 p.m., 50,000 people had seen it. By 5:30 p.m., Slap the Rock was trending all over the world. By 6 p.m., every news channel was talking about it. LAPD officer slaps Dwayne Johnson. But behind the scenes, more trouble was coming for Trent. Because Dwayne had opened more than just a case. He had opened a whole secret system. 6:02 p.m. LAPD headquarters. Dwayne sat in a quiet room with no windows. He wasn't in trouble. No one handcuffed him. Across the table sat Chief Elena and 2 other investigators. Behind them, a screen showed videos. Trent slapping Dwayne, Trent smiling, Dwayne standing still. "You could have fought back," Elena said. "He wanted me to," Dwayne replied. Elena slid a folder across the table. It was thick. 15 people said Trent hurt them. All the complaints were hidden. But now we're opening them. Dwayne didn't blink. "How far does this go?" he asked. Elena sighed. "That's what we need to find out. And we'll need your help." 6:15 p.m. Trent's home. Trent stormed into his house. He tore off his shirt and threw it across the room. He turned on the news. Bad idea. Every channel showed him slapping the Rock. His wife stared at the TV. "I told you to stop treating people like that," she said quietly. Trent shouted, "They think he's a hero just because he's famous." But she didn't answer. Because outside, a black car pulled up. Internal Affairs had come for him. 7:05 p.m. The internet explodes. Now the video had 12 million views. Famous people were speaking up. LeBron James said, "That's tough." Dwayne stayed calm. "Respect." Kerry Washington said, "This story hurts for a lot of reasons." Trevor Noah jokes, "Imagine slapping the Rock. You must think your badge is stronger than your brain." Even the governor tweeted, "No one should face abuse, famous or not. The investigation is happening." 8:10 p.m. Dwayne's gym. Dwayne was at home, punching a heavy bag. Not angry, just focused. His friend and lawyer, Jalen, came in. "You made headlines," he said. "I didn't ask for this," Dwayne replied. "But now it's yours. And I don't think Trent is the only one." Jalen gave him a tablet. It showed secret files. Trent had hidden things. There were body cam videos, redacted notes, secret programs. One scary thing stood out. Trent used to be part of a team called SHIELD. It was shut down for being unfair to people. But maybe it wasn't really shut down. 9:22 p.m. Dwayne speaks out. Dwayne opened Instagram and went live. No music. No fancy words. "I wasn't going to say anything," he said. "But this isn't just about me. That officer hurt people before. People without cameras. People who couldn't fight back. I'm using my voice for them." He ended the video after 43 seconds. Over 2 million people were watching. Saturday, 8:12 a.m., South Central LA. Dwayne stood in front of a small house. He wore a hoodie and sunglasses. He held a folder. Inside was a name, Marcus Green. Marcus was a chef, a dad. Trent had hurt him 2 years ago. No cameras, no proof. Case dismissed. But Dwayne had the files now. The door opened. Marcus stood there. "I didn't think someone like you would come," Marcus said. "I'm not here for the press," Dwayne said. "I'm here because your name was buried." Marcus let him in. Inside, there were pictures of kids smiling. But Marcus wasn't smiling. "He broke my ribs," Marcus said. "Said I moved wrong. They didn't care." "I believe you," Dwayne said. "And now others will too." 9:44 a.m. LAPD secret room. In a hidden room deep inside police headquarters, a computer beeped. Someone was looking at secret files. Files that were supposed to be gone. The name on the screen said, C. Elena. He was looking up everything about Trent. His past, his cases, his secrets. And in a dark corner, someone else was watching. He smiled a little and picked up his phone. "They're digging," he said. "We have a problem." 10:30 a.m. Someone sent an email. No name. It went to a lot of news places. The subject of the email said, LAPD SHIELD unit still active and targeting whistleblowers. The email had pictures of papers, videos with dates, and a list of names. These were police officers who had hurt people but didn't get in trouble. They were protected. At the top of the list was Clay Trent and 3 other officers. They still worked for the police. All 4 had ties to a private security company. 11:02 a.m. at Dwayne's house. His phone rang. It was his friend Jalen. He sounded worried. "You started something big," Jalen said. "Now your name is on a secret list." "That SHIELD program? It didn't stop. It just went underground. And now, they're watching you." Dwayne let out a breath. "Good," he said. Jalen looked confused. "You want them to come after you?" Dwayne looked out his window at the city. "No," he said. "I want them to know I'm not scared." 11:45 a.m. Breaking news. More people came forward. They said they were hurt by the police before. All because of a video. A video of Dwayne getting slapped by an officer. It had gone viral. Everyone saw it. The police said they were reopening the SHIELD investigation. The mayor said, "This problem didn't start with the slap. But maybe it will end with it." 2 p.m. A man sat in a black SUV. He was parked across from Dwayne's building. He wore gloves, sunglasses, and a little ear speaker. He wasn't a news reporter. He wasn't a cop. But he was watching Dwayne. He spoke into his mic. "Target moving. SHIELD wants eyes on him all the time. Let's see if the tough guy stays brave when no one's watching." Sunday, 7:04 a.m. LAPD headquarters. Inside the police building, 10 serious people sat around a big table. They were high-ranking officers, press helpers, and the new top cop, Chief Dorian Voss. This meeting wasn't normal. They were worried. Dwayne Johnson, the famous actor and wrestler, had been slapped by a cop. But instead of staying quiet, he told the world. And now people were listening. Voss showed a video on a big screen. It had clips of the slap, the arrest, and Dwayne's live stream. He paused the video. "He just started a movement," Voss said. "And it's aimed at us." 7:12 a.m. Same room. One deputy said, "We have a big problem. 5 more victims of Officer Trent just came forward. Most are men of color. They all say Trent hurt them. Some have old hospital papers to prove it." Another officer added, "And Internal Affairs is digging. Elena opened the SHIELD files without permission. We thought the files were gone. But they weren't. They were hidden. And someone has been changing them recently." The head of public relations stood up. Her face was pale. "And there's more," she said. "Dwayne isn't just talking. He's paying people. He's building a team. Lawyers, reporters, investigators, and some big stars are helping him." Voss looked worried. They weren't just facing Dwayne. They were facing the whole world. 7:33 a.m. Outside LAPD. A small crowd stood outside the building. They held signs and chanted, "No shield for racists. Justice, not rank." On the side of a parked van, a big screen showed the video. Again and again, it played. The slap, the silence, Dwayne's face, and his calm words. This isn't just about me. It's about the silence too many of us have had to live under. 8:15 a.m. Dwayne's private gym. In a clean gym with brick walls and glass windows, Dwayne hit a heavy punching bag. Each punch was hard and focused. Jalen stood nearby. He looked nervous. "We have a problem," he said. Dwayne didn't stop punching. "Only one." "Someone's following you," Jalen said. "Not cops. Not feds. Private people. Could be old SHIELD members. Or worse." Dwayne froze. "Any proof?" Jalen handed him a tablet. "It came in through an insider at Internal Affairs," he said. "Encrypted email. Subject line, Containment Protocol." It was from a secret LAPD email. It went to SHIELD members. It said, "If Johnson keeps going, stop him. Stop his platform. Hurt his family. Stop the media. Or make him disappear." Dwayne's fists tightened. Not from fear. From anger. "They want a war," he said. "Now they've got one." 9:30 a.m. Private meeting. Dwayne met two important people in a quiet room. One was Chief Elena, the head of Internal Affairs. The other was Layla Voss, a lawyer who had beaten corrupt police in court before. Elena said, "We found money. Not from the police. From secret donors. SHIELD didn't die. It just changed names." Layla added, "They're hurting whistleblowers. One person even had their car messed with." Dwayne stayed calm. "We don't just show the truth," he said. "We fight smarter. We get louder." Layla nodded. "I've got 6 lawsuits ready." Elena said, "And I've got a SHIELD officer ready to talk." Dwayne leaned in. "Then let's break the whole thing down." 11:02 a.m. Media madness. Downtown, news trucks were everywhere. CNN, MSNBC, local stations. Reporters called it, "Justice Rocked." The biggest story wasn't just about a slap. It was about victims getting to speak. Marcus Green, Eduardo Chavez, Deshaun Bell. They were all hurt before. Now they shared their stories. Because Dwayne gave them a voice. 1:15 p.m. Trent was falling apart. Trent sat in his lawyer's office. His eyes were red. He was angry. "You said the SHIELD files were gone," he yelled. His lawyer looked scared. "They were supposed to be," he whispered. "But someone didn't follow the plan." Trent hissed, "They're coming for me." His lawyer said, "They're coming for all of you. And this time, the world is on their side." 2:30 p.m. Press conference begins. Dwayne walked toward the podium. Reporters were everywhere. The police were scared. SHIELD members were watching. But Dwayne was calm. He stood in front of the cameras and said just one thing. "Let's remind them who justice belongs to." 2:33 p.m. The big moment. The crowd was huge. There were cameras, microphones, wires, and flying drones. Dwayne stood on the steps, wearing a black blazer. He looked calm and strong. To his right stood Layla Voss. To his left stood Chief Elena. He didn't smile. He didn't cough. He just spoke. 2:35 p.m. The speech. "I didn't ask for this. I didn't want to be the face of something broken. But when a police officer slaps you in public for doing nothing wrong, you can't just walk away." People in the crowd gasped. "This isn't just about me. It's about a system that protected that cop. A system that ignored the victims. A system that stayed silent. Until now." Dwayne stepped back. Layla stepped forward. 2:37 p.m. Big news. "As of today," Layla said, "we filed 6 lawsuits against LAPD and the SHIELD program. This program was supposed to end. But it's still active under new names." "We have proof," she said. Secret videos. Scared victims. Threats. Dwayne himself was watching. Reporters shouted questions. Layla raised her hand. "This isn't the end," she said. "This is only the beginning." 2:42 p.m. Somewhere dark. Captain Richard Garrick watched the press conference on a screen. He was once the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. Trent had worked under him. Garrick had deleted the bad files, changed names, hid the truth. Now it was all falling apart. Garrick picked up the phone. "It's me," he said. A voice answered. "Go ahead." Garrick gave the order. "Burn it all." 3:01 p.m. Dwayne's gym. Dwayne came back to his gym. The press conference was over. The world was buzzing. A man waited for him. He wore a fake name tag. No real ID. He gave Dwayne an envelope. Inside was a blurry photo. It was Dwayne's daughter. A school. With an address. There was a message. "Back off, or she learns who S.H.I.E.L.D. really is." Dwayne stared at the photo. He didn't say a word. He gave it to Jalen. 3:18 p.m. Department of Justice. The people in the Justice Department were watching too. A lawyer stood in front of a board. It had faces, names, and red lines showing the bad connections. "S.H.I.E.L.D. just crossed a line," someone said. "They're threatening Dwayne's family. This is no longer just civil. It's criminal." Lucas Harlan said, "Pull the files. Get indictments." 72 hours. 3:44 p.m. Back at LAPD. Captain Garrick was yelling. "Delete everything," he shouted. "Every file. Every tape. Burn it all." A younger officer spoke up. "You can't just erase evidence." Garrick snapped. "This is war. You think I'm losing to a celebrity?" But Garrick didn't know. A tiny microphone was hidden in the ceiling. It recorded everything. And the audio was being uploaded. 4 p.m. Breaking news. CNN broke into their regular shows. New audio shows LAPD captain ordering destruction of evidence in S.H.I.E.L.D. case. Every news station played it. The city was on fire. Not with flames, but with truth. 4:28 p.m. Dwayne's apartment. Dwayne sat by his window. His daughter was safe now. Secretly moved. S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't know where. His team worked day and night. But Dwayne knew what was coming. Because when you try to tear down a system this big, it never goes down without a fight. And S.H.I.E.L.D.? They weren't done. Not yet. Monday, 7:15 a.m. KTLA news station. Layla Voss sat in the waiting room. She was about to go on live TV again. After the weekend, everything had changed. The station was busy. Not with excitement. With tension. Because this fight had only just begun. She was about to go live on TV when her phone buzzed. It was from a number she didn't know. The message said, "Silence speaks louder. You're too loud." Seconds later, the lights in the studio blinked and went off. It was 7:18 a.m. The backup power came on, and the lights turned back. But only one camera still worked. Anna looked at it. Then she looked at the floor beside her. A red laser that was pointing near her foot. She didn't move. Security ran in fast. They pulled her away from the glass window and locked down the whole building. Someone had pointed a laser through the window. No gun. No bullet. Just a warning, back off. 7:20 a.m. In downtown LA, at a gym, Dwayne was jumping rope. He was sweating, breathing steady. Then his friend Jalen rushed in. "They tried to scare Anna off the air," he said. Dwayne stopped jumping. He dropped the rope. "They didn't try to scare her," Dwayne said. "They tried to silence her." 7:35 a.m. At the LAPD Internal Affairs Office, Chief Elena was very angry. He walked around fast, his teeth tight, surrounded by other officers looking at police files. "We have proof," he said. "We know who's in charge. We've seen the cameras." A young officer added, "Captain Garrick is missing. His car was found burned in the hills." Elena stopped walking. "Then he's either hiding, or someone is cleaning things up." 9:12 a.m. Anna was taken to a safe house. Only a few people knew where she was. She sat in a dark room with Dwayne. "I'm not stopping," she said. "I didn't ask you to," said Dwayne. "But if they're targeting me..." "They're getting more dangerous," Dwayne said. "That means we're getting close." Anna nodded. "Then let's finish this." 10:30 a.m. The Department of Justice, DOJ, had a big meeting. They now had 3 arrest warrants, 4 secret court papers, new proof from someone inside. This person used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D., the secret police team. He told them S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't just in one city. It has grown into 3 cities in California. It was being paid for by secret money, political helpers, and weapon sellers. The slap Dwayne got? That wasn't an accident. It was a test. S.H.I.E.L.D. wanted to see how much they could get away with. But they didn't think Dwayne would fight back. 12:45 p.m. An anonymous account posted a secret video. It was from a body camera worn by Officer Trent. In the video, Trent and Garrick were laughing in a locker room. Trent said, "Did you see that kid cry when I hit him? Bet he never walks through my area again." Garrick replied, "Fear is policy, brother." The video went viral. It spread everywhere in minutes. Protests broke out in Los Angeles, Sacramento, and San Diego. One sign read, "We don't want fear. We want justice." 2:12 p.m. Dwayne sat with a tactical advisor. The advisor was serious. "They're going to take a shot," the man said. "Like, with a gun?" Dwayne asked. "Could be both. Real or reputation." Dwayne stayed calm. "Then we fight back." 3 p.m. Dwayne, Anna, Elena, and Jalen stood around a city map. They planned Operation Break Light. It was a trap. Anna would go on air again. Dwayne would act like bait. Elena would leak a secret location. They wanted to catch whoever was really in charge. Because it wasn't Garrick. It wasn't Trent. Someone bigger was still giving orders. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Only 3 people knew the trap location. Dwayne stood alone in an empty warehouse. It was quiet. No windows. Just the hum of the lights. He wore a black hoodie and gloves. Hidden in the roof, crates, and walls were cameras and sensors. Everything was being watched by the FBI and DOJ teams outside. In a building nearby, Anna, Elena, and the team watched screens. They were ready. 8:11 p.m. Dwayne opened his phone. He went live on Instagram. He said, "This is where it started. 1 street. 1 man. 1 badge. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to wait." The video ended. Just 27 seconds long. It was bait. 8:23 p.m. In the surveillance van outside, Elena's team saw movement. A car with no plates drove slowly. Then 2 more cars. All no headlights. They heard someone say through a secret earpiece, "Target confirmed. Go dark. Extract." 8:31 p.m. The cars stopped. 2 men stepped out of the first car. They wore civilian clothes, but they were ready. No police badges. No names. They didn't knock. They used a magnet tool to unlock the warehouse door. They moved like shadows. Dwayne stood still. One man said, "Mr. Johnson, we've been asked to escort you." "By who?" Dwayne asked. The second man said, "Someone who wants to speak with you." Dwayne smiled. "I've been waiting for him too." 8:33 p.m. The third man entered. He didn't look like the others. He wore a suit, a silver tie, and had no weapons. Dwayne knew who he was. Senator Camden Holt. Most people saw him on the news. But Dwayne had seen his name in secret files. He was the money man. The architect of S.H.I.E.L.D. "You made a mess, Mr. Johnson," Holt said. "I didn't make a mess," Dwayne replied. "I showed the truth." 8:36 p.m. But Holt didn't know anything. The warehouse was already live-streaming everything. Secret cameras and microphones were sending the video to the DOJ and FBI. Millions weren't watching yet. But they would be. Elena said softly, "Let him talk." 8:37 p.m. Holt walked in circles. S.H.I.E.L.D. was never about hitting people, he said. It was about control, keeping cities safe with fear. Dwayne said, "You hit the wrong man." Holt smiled. "No, I hit the loudest one. Now I need to erase the echo." He raised his hand. The two men pulled out guns. 8:38 p.m. Suddenly, boom! Lights came on. Doors slammed shut. Federal agents rushed in. "FBI, don't move. Hands up." The two agents dropped their guns. Holt froze. In the middle of it all, Dwayne stood still. Not scared. Not smiling. Just strong. 9:01 p.m. News broke across every channel. A U.S. senator was arrested for being part of a secret, illegal police team called SHIELD. People saw clips of Holt in handcuffs. Donors were exposed. Secret papers were leaked. The slap became a spark. But this was the fire. Wednesday, 6:45 a.m. Morning TV talked about Dwayne, but not in a good way. The headline was, "Hero or Hypocrite?" They showed clips of Dwayne wrestling, acting, and that old slap video. They made it seem like he was just doing this for attention. 7:10 a.m. At Dwayne's apartment, he stood watching the news. Jalen walked in, phone to his ear. "They're trying to twist the story," Jalen said. "Big money, influencers, fake accounts. They're making you the bad guy." Dwayne said nothing. He had seen this before. 7:42 a.m. At Anna's secret office, she was angry. She threw down printed tweets. "Look at this," she shouted. "Fake people online saying you're the villain. They're scared of the truth." Dwayne sat down calmly. "Then we go deeper." 8:23 a.m. At a small airstrip outside Palm Springs, a man in sunglasses and a black coat stood with a briefcase. His name was Victor Kale. He was the real creator of SHIELD. Nobody had seen him on the news. His name wasn't in any files. He was too smart for that. He made others take the fall. Now, with Holt in jail, Kale made a call. "You have 36 hours to erase everything," he said. "That includes Dwayne Johnson." 10:12 a.m. Anna gave Dwayne and Elena a file. "This is Victor Kale. He's the real one in charge." Elena frowned. "Why haven't we arrested him?" "Because he's too protected," Anna said. "Old CIA deals. Immunity. We need proof that can't be ignored." 11:30 a.m. Elena pulled out an old file. A 15-year-old complaint from when SHIELD was just starting. Back then, a police officer said Kale made them scare a city leader. That woman later died by suicide. The file was hidden. But Elena kept a copy. 1:45 p.m. The team made a plan. Show the old SHIELD memo. Send it to a trusted news person. Let Dwayne speak first. One last time. 3 p.m. Dwayne recorded his message. Simple. Honest. He sat in a plain room and said, "They think I did this for fame. I already had that. What I didn't have was justice. I didn't start this war. But I'm going to finish it." Wednesday, 8 p.m. The video played on every platform. No music. No effects. Just Dwayne, his voice, and the truth. As the world watched, Anna dropped the final truth bomb. She uploaded the secret file. It had Victor Kale's name, a blackmail story, and a secret plan called the SHIELD Blueprint. In 30 minutes, it was copied on 200 websites. Many important people sent subpoenas, and phone lines were very busy. Outside Los Angeles, Victor Kale was at a private airplane hangar. It was 8:32 p.m. Hangar number 4 at Palmidge Airstrip. The engines were ready to start. "Wheels up in 10 minutes, someone said. Kale sat in the back of a fancy Gulfstream plane. He wore sunglasses and looked very calm. He was the kind of man who made problems disappear. Until now. The pilot looked back and said, "Sir, there are cars moving on the ground. They look like they could be from the police or government." Kale did not look worried. Then the engines started and roared. So did the sirens. At 8:37 p.m., 4 black cars drove onto the runway. They surrounded the plane. Big lights shone everywhere. Doors opened fast. FBI, DOJ, and Internal Affairs officers stepped out. Leading them was Dwayne Johnson. He wore black clothes and stood tall. He didn't say anything, but his presence was strong. At 8:38 p.m., the standoff began. A federal agent stepped forward with a bullhorn and shouted, "Step out of the plane with your hands where we can see them." Nothing happened. Then Victor Kale stepped out slowly, raising his hands. He did not look scared, just thoughtful. "Do you know what you have done?" he said to Dwayne. Dwayne looked at him and said, "Yes. I stopped you from hiding behind other people's silence." At 8:45 p.m., the arrest was made. Victor Kale was taken away by the police. He was charged with many crimes like stopping justice, spying illegally, and cheating the government. More charges would come, but now one name was known. At 10 p.m., the news was everywhere. Every big TV channel talked about it. "SHIELD operation exposed. The man who made it happen is caught," the headline said. Dwayne Johnson became a hero. The news about him was not just gossip anymore. People respected him. Thursday, 10:15 a.m., Layla's office. There were now 32 lawsuits from people hurt by SHIELD. These were class actions from 4 cities. Many people gave money to help the victims and to change the police. And in the middle of all this was Dwayne Johnson. But he did not talk to reporters anymore. He didn't need to. He had already said everything. At 12:01 p.m., a new note appeared on the front door of Dwayne's gym. It was a small, handwritten note. No name, no cameras caught who left it. It said, "You didn't just win for us, you reminded us we were worth the fight." Thursday, 3:03 p.m., Dwayne's gym in Los Angeles. The gym was quiet. No TV vans, no protests, no sirens. Just peace. Dwayne stood by the window, his hands wrapped. The light shone on his shoulders. The world had changed. SHIELD was broken. Kale was arrested. Holt was going to trial. But something felt wrong. Like a heavy weight was still there, but moved somewhere else. Jalen came in quietly with a phone. "You've earned some rest," he said. Dwayne didn't answer. "Are you thinking of quitting?" Jalen asked. "Maybe," Dwayne said quietly. But just then, his phone buzzed and everything changed. 3:04 p.m. An anonymous message came with no name and an encrypted file. It had an audio recording. A crackly voice came through, faint but clear. "I did what you asked. I got the footage out. I backed off. But they're coming for me next. You were just the start." Dwayne froze. He knew that voice. It was Officer Noah Reddick, the young officer who saw the slap and tried to stop Trent. He had disappeared weeks ago, and people thought he was moved to another place. Now it was clear he was hiding. 3:07 p.m. Dwayne called Layla Pulper's records office. 10 minutes later, she had the answer. Officially, Noah Reddick had quit and said he was moving for personal reasons. But Layla's voice became quiet as she said the real reason. He tried to report more about Trent, Garrick, and secret meetings that were hidden. That's why SHIELD wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to hide his information. Dwayne clenched his fist. "So where is he now?" he asked. Layla hesitated, then said, "We tracked his phone. It was last seen at a motel in Basto 4 days ago. Since then, no one knows." 4:15 p.m. On the road to Basto. Dwayne didn't wait. He drove alone. The desert was wide and hot. The silence was deep. The sun was harsh. But worse than the sun was the thought that one man was still scared after everything. And no one saw it. 6:01 p.m. Desert Motel in Bartow. The place was almost empty. The old neon sign blinked. The paint was chipped. Sand was slowly covering the lot. Dwayne walked to room 6. He knocked twice. Nothing. Then he heard someone shuffle inside. A voice said, "Who is it?" "Someone who didn't forget," Dwayne said. 6:03 p.m. The door opened. Noah P. looked thin, his eyes dark, beard grown, but his hands were steady. "You shouldn't have come," he said. "You shouldn't have had to run," Dwayne answered. Inside the room was very simple. One bed, one duffel bag, one laptop. Noah pointed to the table. "There's one last video," he said. "I didn't release it because I was scared. I thought it would get hidden or I would disappear like the others." Dwayne picked up the USB drive. "What is on it?" he asked. Noah's eyes looked sad. It was proof that S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't just protect bad cops. It trained them to be bad. And it wasn't just in Los Angeles. It was bigger than that. 6:30 p.m. Dwayne started driving back. He didn't say much. He drove with the USB drive in his pocket. The sun was setting behind the hills. He thought it was almost over. But now he knew there was one more fight ahead. Friday 9:15 a.m. Dwayne's loft in Los Angeles. The city was awake. News trucks, sirens, people going about their day. Inside, Dwayne sat at his kitchen table. His laptop was open. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. The USB drive from Officer Reddick blinked blue. There was one folder, encrypted. Layla had cracked the password 2 hours ago. Now they were ready to watch. He clicked play. 9:16 a.m. The video started. It wasn't camera footage from the streets. It was a training video. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first lesson from 10 years ago. A man, face blurred, voice changed, spoke in front of about 24 officers. "You are not here to serve. You are here to control. Justice is an illusion. Safety is fear. And if you use fear, you own the streets." More officers raised their hands and said a pledge. Officers chanted together. Then the video showed many clips from body cameras of abuse, lies, and control. Some clips were from different cities, others with different names. S.H.I.E.L.D. was not just a program. It was a way to control people. And it had spread all over. 9:45 a.m. Chief Elena's office. Dwayne and Layla played the video for him. He didn't speak for a long moment after it ended. Then he said, "This goes straight to the Department of Justice." Dwayne nodded. But that's not all. 10:30 a.m. A global live stream was scheduled. Layla sent the video to every major news outlet. All agreed to show it at the same time at 8 p.m. Pacific time. It was a coordinated release. No one could stop it or hide it. This was the big hammer, and it was going to hit hard. 6 p.m. Final message recording. Dwayne sat in the same chair as before. Same plain wall behind him. Same black hoodie. Same strong feeling. He looked right into the camera. If you're watching this, you already know. You know that justice does not belong to the loudest or the richest. It belongs to the people who fight for it. S.H.I.E.L.D. thought it could silence people like me. But more importantly, they thought they could silence people like you. This is not the end of something broken. This is the start of something better. I'm not just here to fight. I'm here to remind you that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to never give up. 8 p.m. The world watched as the video was shown. Billboards in Times Square, digital signs in Tokyo, news alerts in Johannesburg, live streams in neighborhoods that once were quiet. The S.H.I.E.L.D. doctrine was exposed. For the first time, the power changed hands. 10:23 p.m. The Department of Justice responded. They launched an emergency team. All S.H.I.E.L.D. police departments were checked carefully. Local investigations reopened. Whistleblower hotlines got many calls. One headline said it all, from slap to system change. How Dwayne Johnson started a national wake-up call. Saturday 7:12 a.m. Dwayne's gym. The sun rose. The doors were unlocked. Outside, a new note was taped to the glass. No name, just 5 words. "Thank you for standing tall." Dwayne read it, smiled, and walked inside. There is always another fight ahead. But this one, he won for all of us. If you like this story, tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun adventures and mysteries. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.